DC. Please welcome David Kerns.
First up, right? No pressure. Thank you. So if you didn't get that note, if I suck, sympathy laugh. That's pretty much what he was saying. So recently broke up with my girlfriend. Yeah. No. But it's weird, like there's a month or so after you break up that, you become this useless, pathetic person, I found myself listening to a lot of the Garden State soundtrack. Bon Iver, Nico, Feist, And then watching all these corny, sappy romance movies and stuff like that. And afterwards, after like the light clicks and you go back to normal mindset, like, did I really do that? Did I really think those things? Did I really watch Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind and Lost in Translation 20 times each? Yes, I did. Did I really get teary-eyed at the end of What Happens in Vegas? No, I didn't. That's crazy. But I did, and this is the lowest of the low. I ended up watching The Notebook by myself. But that was it for me. The light just went back to normal. Because as crazy as I was, I'm not crazy enough to buy the bullshit of that movie. I'm sorry, ladies, but The Notebook could be the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life. Thank you. Because no, come on, it propagates this ridiculous notion that relationships are supposed to be these torturous, horrible, self-destructive affairs, and I don't know if that's really true. Like the main guy's like, that's what we do. We fight. You tell me when I'm being an arrogant son of a bitch, and I tell you when you're being a whore and a bitch and a slut, which you are about 99.9% of the time. And it's not gonna be easy, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be excruciatingly hard and painful, but that's just love. That's just what we do, that's just love. Really? Please no. But I don't know, some women like that. I mean, some women have this subconscious desire to put like all this unneeded conflict and drama into their lives. And it's like honestly, I think that a lot of women, their inner monologues are Jane Austen narrating a romance novel. I saw him from across the room. His eyes were bright blue with passion. It couldn't be, it must not be, but it must be. Please, no, please stop that. I can't really criticize too much because I have my own weird, skewed perception of how relationships should be. Mine just happens to be on the other side of the spectrum. I, like so many young Americans, am afflicted with the Disney fairy tale syndrome. This belief that, like every girl that you see, you're just Prince Charming, and every girl's like the Belle and the, pick your Disney princess choice. And I think the best analogy for this is from Fantasia, the centaur one. Did you guys see the centaur one? All you have to do, it's so easy, you just find the other centaur with your corresponding skin tone and hair color, and that's who you're meant to be with. Perfect. But, and what made this especially worse for me was that my parents' relationship is a Disney fairy tale. Honestly, true story, my parents fell in love the night they met. They were engaged in less than 2 weeks and have been happily married for nearly 40 years. Right? No, that is amazing, but honestly, that fucks with you as a kid. I've literally been, I've probably been in love with like 50 women. Because I'm always like, oh my God, you like chocolate ice cream and movies? Found her. But I've realized, all relationships have their conflict and stuff. It doesn't have to be crazy, but there's conflict in everything, Like my parents, for example, 40 years happily married, they can't get along in the car. That's the one place they can't get along. It's like, Chris, watch out, Carol! I am driving this car. I love that my dad chooses to defend his aggressive behavior with declarative statements of fact about what he's doing. Like, I am driving this car. I am watching the television. I am basting this turkey. Carol, I'm basting the turkey. And I'm like, yeah, Dad, no, it's true. You are, in fact, driving the car. But what you failed to also mention is that you're driving the car while simultaneously pointing out the geological history of the mountain range behind us and passing a car going 95 miles an hour. You see, Dave, in the 1970s, they took the granite from the... Chris, watch out! Arrgh! Carol, I am driving this car! My mom is not blameless by any means. She happens to be probably the worst side seat driver in existence, probably. I remember I almost got into like 50 crashes probably when she was teaching me how to drive, because I'd be driving a car going like 6 miles an hour or something, and she'd be like, oh my God, Dave, watch out, oh my God! I'm going, oh, Mom, what happened? Did I almost run over a kid? She's like, no, there's a car up there. Yeah, it was moving. Like, Mom, that's what cars do, they move. But it was moving aggressively. Stop it, Mom. Stop that. So, you know, you take this woman and that man, put them together. Whoa. There's just like an endless crescendo, and this thing is never going to have a resolution. So my mom's tactic is the passive-aggressive hum tactic, which I like. So my dad goes on with his rant about like, I am driving this car. And when I am driving the car, I am master and commander of the car situation. And if you want to drive a car, maybe you should buy a car of your own and drive that car, maybe. And my mom's like, which translated in passive-aggressive hum language means, you can just go shove this car up your ass, you bastard. I will say, though, I am very proud to say, as much as my dad is crazy, you gotta respect the man. Because he has principles, you know, and he stands by those principles. Like, for example, one of my favorite times to be my dad's son was when he refused to say the word venti when he ordered a large coffee at Starbucks. Oh yeah, not gonna happen. May I please have a large coffee? You mean a venti? What the hell is... I just like a large coffee. So 1 venti coffee. Just give me a goddamn large coffee! I was proud to be at Kerns on that day. But I'm also proud that I have never fought with my father. As crazy as he is and as aggressive as he is, I've never fought with my father once in my life. Not because I don't disagree with the man. I disagree with the man all the time. He's always wrong. But you know, like, from careful observation growing up as a kid with him and my older brother, who's a carbon copy of my father, I've realized that you do not argue with Chris Kerns. Like the time that my dad and my older brother had a fighting bout in the middle of the Pantheon in Rome for an hour about, get this, whether or not the dome of the Pantheon was a perfect half sphere. And I'm like, I use hyperbole very leniently. An hour of shouting, and it started as simple as, you know, Dad, I don't know if it is, you know, a perfect sphere. Scott, I disagree. And escalated to something like, you are an ignorant old fool! Scott, I created you and I will destroy you. And me and my mom, who do not like confrontation or kind of backing off a little bit, we don't want a part of that. And my mom brings out the, I don't know these people hum. A little bit different from the passive-aggressive hum. David, I think this is a shrine to Thor. Mom, Thor wasn't a Roman god. I know. But what can you say? Human conflict, that's just love, right? Thank you, that's my time.